We're going to get straight along to our first talk of the day, and this is going to be with Matthew Lawson, who is Chief Digital Officer at Ribble Cycles. He's a really experienced digital leader. He's previously worked at places like AO and Love Holidays as well. I had dinner with him last night. He has got a wealth of experience, some really incredible successes under his belt to share with you. And you know, he's a specialist in transformation, growth, and experience. And is here to talk you through the secrets to delivering transformation. So everybody, please give a warm welcome to Matthew.
Thank you, thank you. There's my big ugly face. Hello, everybody. So yes, I'm here to talk to you about my secrets. And also, for the people who are operational in this room and people who are into trying to deliver change, I'll also share some of my secret KPIs, the things that I actually measure, the things that I actually care about. So hello, what a beautiful venue. I think it's brilliant that we actually got air conditioning because I was sweating upstairs. But before I start, before I get into the detail of what I wanted to talk to you about, I wanted just to say how amazing you are. Everybody in this room, not because you've come here to listen to me ramble on for half an hour. You're amazing because you decided to surround yourselves with people who are very similar to you, who are having the same challenges that everybody else is having. So, and I applaud you for that, because you've taken time out of your working day to come here, to learn something, to be inspired, but ultimately, more important to me is that you need to start making some friends. So the only thing I would ask is look across the room and see somebody who's similar to you, make a friend, talk to them, connect to them, avoid the salesman. Fundamentally, make your connection, because everything I'm going to talk to you about today is not my ideas. I've just copied people. I've spoken to people, saw what they did, and I've copied it. Yes, I celebrate it as my own ideas, but it's important that you have done it. So I applaud you. Well done. Thank you very much. So a little bit about me. We had the list before. So I am an operator. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to just tell you a story. My background is pure play e-com. I started off at AO.com. I was there from just post-startup until it IPO'd for £1.6 billion. I did 27 different roles in that 8 years, because we were just making up roles at the time. I ended up being the head of conversion of all things. What is that? It got to the point where my time had done, and I needed to look for a new opportunity. So I looked down to London. I thought, I'm going to go to the big smoke. Where's an opportunity? And I saw a small business called Love Holidays. There were 6 people. It was about years old. And I thought, that seems like a good place to go to work. So I decided to go to Love Holidays. And I was there for 2 years. First year, we doubled the business. The second year, we doubled the business again. And as the e-commerce director, it was exciting. Loved it. But then I got a phone call. It was my wife. Matthew, full name. If you do not come home, I'm going to divorce you. Okay, I do hate it when they talk to you in that coded language. But I deciphered it, and I decided, right, the right thing to do is to come home. So I started looking and talking to some private equity people down in London. And one of them goes to me, hey, Matt, there's an opportunity near Liverpool. I said, where near Liverpool? He said, Preston. It's like, so not near Liverpool. But anyway, that's fine. And I've been there for, 11 years as their Chief Digital Officer. And I'm going to talk about my experience across the board, because the things that I'm going to talk to you about is my learnings across that span all these brands. What's the common thread across these things? But first and foremost, what inspired me, other than it being close to home, to me to join Ribble Cycles? This did. This was the website on day one, and I was like, yes, I want a piece of that. Look at it. It's beautiful. It's got snowflakes. Look at the links. This is an SEO's dream. B to G. Imagine how long this page is. Ridiculous. bikes, £620. It even had a Christmas hat on the logo. Wow. I want a piece of that. But where are we today? This is not what I've done, I've said. This is what people say. Ribble is to cycling what Rolex is to watches. If I said that, quite arrogant, but someone said it, so I'm going to put it on a slide. Wonderful. We've taken a business where our AOVs were about £800 to £2,500, where we're taking a bike sales from about £4 million to £35 million. What we're talking about is transformations, step changes in business, changing perception, building that up. And that is what I'm here to sell and talk about. And I'm also going to share my killer KPI, the thing that I actually measure, the thing that I actually care about, but I'm going to save it to the end just because you've got something to look forward to. Right. But where do I start? I've joined 3 businesses, 2 of which were a year or 2 years old, 1 which was 125 years old. So, different kettle of fish. Where do I start? What do I start? What do I do? I focus on the team. This sounds obvious, but focus on the team. Because regardless of what I can do, what I learned from a very early phase in my career is that I'm never going to be judged on what I deliver. I can be the busiest person in the world, but if the team is not performing and not delivering, it doesn't matter how good I am. And what I mean by the team is not the team that reports into me. I'm talking about the business. You need to look broader than just your own team and look for those opportunities. Where we look at the team is that I like to look for and recruit grassroots. I like developing people. What do I look for is that I need a team of the untrainables, not the undateables, the untrainables. I think it's important that we are able to look for the things I can't teach. I can't teach someone I can't teach someone to care. I can't teach someone to use their initiative. I can't teach them to be inquisitive. That just happens. And I like to be able to make sure that those people have something to prove, that they want to deliver something. And what I do is that I like to spend my time with the team. I don't sit with the directors, I sit within the team. I listen to the team. I want to build relationships because fundamentally, we are here to work together. And those are the things that make a difference. And I like to make sure that the majority of things I talk to about with my team is not work. I want to know who they are, what they do in the pastime, what do they do outside of work. Most of my day is just chatting because what is important is trust. Trust is important for any sort of transformational business that you're trying to deliver. Because if your team doesn't trust you and you don't trust them, you're going to get nowhere. Trust is something that you have to build up and earn. And it fundamentally is the cornerstone of how I operate. Because as soon as you've got trust with your team and they trust you, guess what? They try stuff. And they don't fear making mistakes. Because you've got to make mistakes. I've made loads, some catastrophically big mistakes. But you learn, you move forward. You've got to break it to make it. And that starts with your team. Look at them, invest in them, spend the time with them. We want to have a team of generalists, people who can go across the lines, supporting one another, because projects cover all multiple departments. We need to allow them to support each other and go across the lane. And because they trust each other, they don't feel like they're stepping on each other's toes. That's what drives businesses forward. Yes, there are spaces for people who are specialists, but what I've found is specialists in business, you recruit them in, but they have a finite amount of time. What you want is people who are committed to the long course, the journey, and that's through building a passionate team who live and die by the same vision and foundation of trust. But once you've built your team, you've got your generalists, you're able to swim the lanes, you're investing in that time, and you're able to say that they're good and we're delivering. What also is important? What's really important? Belief. If you're sat in this room and you do not believe in your business, and what I mean by that, you don't get it, don't like it, quit. Quit today. Because if you don't believe in the business, you will never get your team to believe in the business. You not only have to believe in the business and the products that you sell, you've got to believe that how you are selling, how you are building is the right way of doing it. Because you've got to empower, you've got to encourage, you've got to develop, you've got to communicate what you believe in. Because I believe in everything, the 3 brands that I've got in. Ribble Cycles, I believe that they are the best bikes in the world. If you come and touch a Ribble bike, if you ride a bike from Ribble, I believe that you'll never buy another bike brand again. I believe in customization. I like to believe in giving customers choice. I like to be able to democratize access to premium features, such as custom color. We allow it on every single bike, where other brands keep it to the elite level bikes at the top for 10 to 15,000 pounds worth of bikes. Then you can custom color it. No, we want to give it access. If you want flat bars, you can have flat bars. I really, really believe in that, and I can champion it. And how I sell it is about believing in the long term. When I was at Love Holidays, we were in a disruptive market. We were already in a disrupted market with dynamic package holidays. What did I believe in? How you shop for your holidays. It wasn't where, I didn't care where I wanted to go on holiday. I know what I wanted to do. So give them those dimensions to discover holidays at any way we want. Allow them to shop how they want. Allow them to discover new places. Because all I know is that I wanted an infinity pool and I didn't want kids. Yes, that's where I'm going to choose my holidays. That's what I'll get excited about. And when it came to washing machines, what did I believe about washing machines? Bloody hell, that's rubbish. It's like, I believed that it was in excellent customer service. That's what's going to drive the transition. And they are believing it, and they are delivering it, and that's what allows me to accelerate it, because I'm able to communicate that to the team. The team start believing it. But if you do not believe in what you are doing, you are wasting your time. Find something you do believe in. Back it. It will energize you. It will build you forward. It will turbocharge your plan to allow you to grow. So, you believe in your brand. What is common across these brands that I've been worked in? And one thing that helps me accelerate these things, you need to find your catalyst. What is your catalyst? So a catalyst could be your why. Why am I doing this? Yes, and you can be inspirational with your why. But what I find a lot of the time is the catalyst is something that is not very good. Some adversity, something that has gone wrong, something that helps you shape your direction. So for Ribble, our catalyst was when I first joined the business, and there's a few people in this room who joined with us, the job was to grow everything. Grow every channel, every marketplace, every territory, every product. Just grow everything. Just do stuff, Matt. Just grow it. And you're like, yeah, okay, I'll get behind that. We'll do that. We'll grow that brand. We'll make a difference. And we were growing. Our sales are increasing. And I was like, yes. But I remember that first slide. We weren't just selling Ribble bikes. We were selling absolutely everything. The catalyst for us was we took a step back and went, wait a minute, Matt. We're selling more stuff, but we're making less money. We have done the impossible. We've made a cycling charity. The more we sell, the less we make. Yes, business. That is not a brilliant idea. So we had a choice. We go bust or we change. But what we did look at and what we did see behind the curtain was there was a certain set of products that were making money. People were getting excited about. And that were the Ribble bikes. We pivoted on that moment. We were 2-3 years into the plan. we pivoted at that point to go, we're going to build a direct-to-consumer bike brand, and we're going to walk away from 75% of our revenue, and we're going to sell bikes. That's what we did. That's what energized us. That was our catalyst. We had to survive. That rallied the troops. That allowed us to give focus. That allowed us to invest in every single product that we were building. We innovated to survive, and it was the best decision we did. Love Holidays, what was their catalyst? A lot of people don't know this, but they were actually called Travel Match. What they were was an affiliate. They were handing off to the travel agents, and they were getting paid a tidy commission. That was their model. Same engine, we'll hand it off. There was a day that they got the phone call from one of the biggest travel agents, won't name them, but they like to cook, and they decided to slash their commissions. On that day, that business was dead if they didn't pivot. What they decided to do was say, sod it, what we're going to do, we're going to go final mile. We are now going to go take it to you. We'll do the bookings. We'll become an OTE, online travel agent, and we'll do it. That was their catalyst. AO was all about being the underdog. Who is it we're up against? Who are we fighting against? The Comet, the Currys. One of them doesn't exist anymore. This is what the catalyst is, because what you can use that is that energy is to then drive it into the team to be able to get them energized about what they're doing. And for every business, some businesses just get lucky. They hit the market at the right time. But there will be times when it comes tough where you need to start energizing your team and looking for what it is, and that catalyst is the thing that makes a difference. Okay. Bit more operational. Stop driving your Ferraris at 30 miles an hour. What I mean by this, you all got them. You've all got Ferraris. What this is there's technology in your tech stack that you've bought, put in place, that you're not really using. Got to remember, these are usually marketeers selling to marketeers. We're just asking for trouble. Sell to me. They want to see the sparkly new features. I can have that. And we have it in our business. We've got them there. And we're not necessarily utilizing them. And it's not just about tech. I don't want to pick on SaaS technologies. It's projects. How many meetings do you go to where you're doing your prep 15 minutes before, you're rolling your eyes as you're going into that meeting, or you're talking to the agencies, and you're going, well, I need to give them something to do. I don't know what to do. The best thing to do is stop it. I reckon, honestly, with all the people in this room, I could make us all collectively more than £1 million today. Because there'll be technology in your business right now that you'll feel like you're not utilizing. So get out your emails, serve your notice right now. Just do it. They'll love you for it. Because what it'll do is that it will be like a breath of fresh air, because the cognitive load of knowing that you've got something that you're paying for, that you're not truly getting full potential for, you just need to get rid of it. That meeting that you didn't need to go to, don't go to it. Stop the distractions, because what you need is to drive focus. And what they'll find is you'll serve the notice, they'll come back to you, and they'll try and sell you a new feature, a new technology. Don't change how much you give us. We've got this new thing. Why don't you have that? Resist. Because you're better without it. Because every pound you save, you can redeploy that into marketing. I know we don't like giving marketing money, but that's what they do. They need to drive the business forward, making us aware of what we're doing, the websites, the products, absolutely everything that we want to do. That's important. We need to be able to maximize every pound. So spend it like your own. Stop those projects, stop the distraction, remove the noise and focus on the things that actually matter, because we've all got Ferraris and we're driving them. And if you serve the notice and they may go, actually, oh, can we have a chat? They might actually bring down the price. So it'll still contribute to that £1 million I'm going to save you all. Because they don't want to lose you. But once you've given focus, once you've driven down the inefficiencies, and you got rid of the distraction, you got rid of the noise, and you've got clarity in what you're delivering, what's left? what do I ask, what do I do, or how do we operate? It's about being more than a customer. For the people you end up sticking with, your agencies, your softwares, partners, this is really important to me, is that I want to be more than a customer. One of the reasons why I'm stood on this stage is because I want to be more than a customer. I want to do favors for them. Because, why is this important? I incentivize myself, I motivate myself to give more back to the agencies, to give more back to the technology stacks, because I'll introduce them to my friends. I'll try and drive their business. I want them to grow. There's plenty of technologies that I've partnered with to help them accelerate, then they've sold on. So Maximizer was the original one. We've talked about Go in Store. They got bored, they get bought, they transition, they accelerate. But why is it important? Because behind every agency, behind every technology, there are people. People are the most important part of this. Because if you are giving your time and your attention, your effort, your love to your agencies and your tech stack, when giving them the things that they want, there's people behind those brands. And if they have a spare 5 minutes, who are they going to spend it on? The bell end who keeps on shouting at them? Or are they going to invest it in the person who helps them, the person who likes them, the person that helps them? If there's a new beta product, who are they going to introduce it to? Who are they going to feel safe in sharing those things with? It'll be the person who's being more kind to them than anybody else, giving them something back, incentivizing yourself to allow them to grow. Because the thing is, back to the point of making mistakes, we've made huge mistakes. Like when we decided to go headless with Magento, and we went, what are we going to do? We need to go look at the frameworks. Which one are we going to back? That one's changing all the time. Which one are we going to go for? We went for View Storefront. It was an idea. It was hard. It was challenging. The website got faster. PWA, it was a great idea. We're going to do it. The day it went live, it was deprecated. Yes! What a decision. But what do? I can't go back to the business and say I need to re-platform and we need to redo the front end. They're going to shout at me, we've just done that project. I've already had the sign-off. Or how am I going to do it? So I reached out to our providers. I reached out to our hosting provider, Cofinity. I said, we need to get back, we need to switch. And they came around the table and they said, we've got an interesting idea that we can serve. We can deliver 2 different code bases as you transition from one page type to another. So you can deliver a new front-end framework as you redesign each page at a time. I like a piece of that. But if I was an arsehole, would my hosting provider put their neck on the line to be able to do that? No, they wouldn't. They would be supporting, they'll do what they would do. They'll host a website, they'll make it fast, and it will scale, auto-scale, do everything. But they would, being the partner, being more than that, being more than a customer, being a friend, they were able to put things on the table to allow me to step change and to do it in a way that I didn't get into trouble. We're now on Nuxt front end, custom build, fast as ever, and we're happy. We were able to deliver that transition. And that's only because I invest my time into them. They are my team. If you are seeing them as outsourcing the responsibility onto your agencies, onto your tech partners, it all boils down, it's your fault in the end. So you may as well be nice, because it is helpful, because it does pay forward. Hold your ground. So, what do I mean by this? So, I've been through a few recessions. Been doing this for 25 years. A couple of recessions, a pandemic, just poor market conditions. We're in it right now with tariffs from America, where our competitors are flooding the market with cheap bikes, making it difficult to compete. But I said I believed in how I sell. That's important. I believe we put our best foot forward. I believe I've got my ducks in a row. And when trading gets tough, the pressure builds. The business will turn around to say to you, or to go to marketing, we need to change some stuff. We need to re-platform. We need to invest. We need to change the structure of your marketing campaigns. We need to do all the things to change some stuff. We need to drive growth. But you weren't a genius yesterday and an idiot today. What has changed? Some things just happen that you cannot control. So you focus on the things that you do control and being able to hold your nerve. That's what drives growth. Predictability to your customers. They want to know where you can be found. They want to have consistency. The buying journey for bikes is 5 bloody years. And I believe that, and I need to invest in that. There's some things that I just can't influence, like recommend a friend, but what I can control is my products, how I get my products to you, the web experience that they're experiencing, and the marketing we choose to do. I believe we're doing the right things, we stick with it. And it's been consistent across the board. Like with holidays. Going into the Christmas period, absolutely scary because you have no sales. Do I believe we've done all the right things? Soon it's Boxing Day, biggest day of the year. You need to believe that you've done it because it will come. Okay. Running out of time. So, onto the operational stuff. What do I actually measure? What is success for me? What is my killer KPI? It's important to me because we measure a lot of things. There's KPIs for everything. But what we end up seeing is what the things that get reported on, the things that the board want to hear, are the outcomes. The outcomes being awareness, interest, conversion rates, traffic. They're interesting, but they're not the killer KPI I obsess about. What I obsess about is the transitions between the lines. If you can find a way of measuring how people transition to this, what I mean by this is that someone comes onto the website, what are they doing? How long do they spend on the site? How long did they bounce? What did they do? What pages did they visit? How did they go to Bike Builder? Did they go to contact customer service? What did they do? What drove them to switch from being just interested into the brand to be considering the brand, and what triggered them from going considering the brand to the purchases? Because they're the things that matter. What drove the change? Not the actual outcome. What's driving the change? Because once you can measure it, you can drive it, you can put those things in place. It's massive for us because that's where the value is, because you can repeat that. And what I do, or what we do, is that those transitions between the lines, I create a thing I like to call synthetic conversions. Because what it is that I've got a huge, long buying cycle. We're talking 5 years from being aware to buying. I need to figure out how they transition. So what I do is that when someone does transition between the lines from things that they've interacted on the website, I push that out into the marketplace, into the Googles, into the Metas, and I say I want more people who will drive that behavior. Because it allows me to unlock targeting. I can target the entire globe and say, is somebody who's going to do this transition, I want more of them. I use Segment Stream to allow to do it from an external perspective. On site, I use Made with Intent to be able to look at those behavioral changes because people transition between these things all the time. Because if we relate it back to the physical shop, someone walks into your shop, they walk down the aisle, they pick up a box, they read the box, they turn around the box, they put the box down, they walk out the shop. Was that a success? Didn't convert. A lot of people say no. I love that. I just need to figure out what drove them into the shop in the first place. Actually, it's one of those guys on the corner or around the corner with one of those spinny signs saying the stuff's right this way. They've come into the shop, found the right product. They've just gone home to check with the wife. Good idea. That they can make that purchase. I need to find more of them. And you need to look at those transitions. Measure the transitions. And what you'll find is there's commonality between those transitions. What did they read? Where did they go? What did they look at? How do I interact with them? And it doesn't have to be e-commerce. It could be your sales cycle for trying to sell technology, whether it's the fact is they need to look at speaking to a reference. Whatever it is, find those nuggets and then focus on driving more of them because there's so much stuff to do. Great designers design out, not in. to give your customers focus on the thing that's going to drive them through the funnel. So, these are my key learnings. This is the common thread across those 3 brands, across the 20 plus years that I've been doing e-commerce, is focus on your team. Your team will deliver it for you. Give them something to believe in. Believe in yourself. Find something to fight for. Get your catalyst. What is it that's driving you forward? Remove distractions. Save ourselves £1 million. Promise you. Just do that today. Just serve notice, even for the shits and giggles, to see what they do. But be more than a customer. Double down on the ones that you stick with, because it will pay forward. They will help you. They'll drive your business for you because they want to see them succeed as much as you succeed. Things will get tough. They always will. Resist the pressure. If you believe that you are doing the things in the right order, in the right way, and you're putting the best foot forward, stick with it. But fundamentally, measure the behavior you're looking for. Find ways to accelerate it, communicate it, measure it. That's where the growth will come from. So, I want to say thank you. Please come and say hi to me later. I'm probably going to be around the Corefinity stand just because I like playing darts and I want to win a PS5. Make sure I win. Yeah, thanks. Find me on LinkedIn. Connect, but more importantly, look across the room, connect with your peers. The more friends you make today, the faster your business will grow. This is fantastic. Thank you very much.